Alright guys, so I'm back with another deck profile from Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days on the Nintendo Switch. So this time we'll be doing version 1 of our Brandt Gate Eva deck. So as always, version 1 is everything up to the first additional card pass, so through the booster set 7. And this is our third glitter deck focused on units from the Craycross Epic web novel series. And our second most booba field glitter deck as well, which is never a bad thing. But anyway, this deck focuses on building up research orders in your order zone in order to unlock various abilities. So as always, we'll be going through the deck and then we'll show it off in one card fight. So starting as always with our ride deck, we have our grade 0 starter, which is One Who Craves Knowledge Eva. So when it's rolled upon, if you win second, draw a card. Same starter skill as always. Next up, our grade 1 is An Afternoon Nap Regardless of Place Eva, which might be the best card name in the history of this game. I love it. She's just sleeping on the floor. It's nap time, damn it. So anyway, she's got auto ability. When this unit is placed by writing from One Who Craves Knowledge Eva, search your deck for up to one research card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then of course this unit is a glitter. So the glitter ability doesn't do anything in and of itself. As always, it just turns on some of your other skills by virtue of her having the status of being a glitter. So her first ability just lets you search out one of your research orders. Very simple, but helps make the deck very consistent. So next, our grade 2 is Smooth Research Progress Eva. So her auto ability is exactly the same as the grade 1's. When it's placed by writing from An Afternoon Nap Regardless of Place Eva, search your deck for up to one research card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then of course, again, she has a glitter. So the grade 2 does the same thing as the grade 1. You just write it and you get a free research order out of your deck. So again, very helpful with consistency. And then lastly, our grade 3 is of course Fountain of Knowledge Eva. So she has an activate skill. It says once per turn, you can counterblast one to look at cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of research cards in your order zone, and choose up to one card from among them, put in your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and this unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. So this lets you dig through your deck to look for stuff. The more research orders you get, the further you can dig. Very helpful in thinning your deck. You can get Persona Ride copies, you can get Perfect Guards, you can get anything that you can find into your hand that you want. And even if you put triggers or whatever to the bottom of your deck, it doesn't really hurt anything because this deck shuffles a lot. So those won't be staying at the bottom. So then she also has an auto ability that says when this unit attacks, you can counterblast one and soul blast one to search your deck or hand for up to one card with Obscudeid in its card name and call it the rearguard circle. And if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So this gives you your fourth attack every turn. Obscudeid is your rearguard glitter. We'll be going through him in a second. So yeah, it just gives you an extra attack. You can call from your deck or your hand. You want to call from your deck, obviously, if there's one in your deck, because again, that helps with the deck thinning. And this ability, like I said, does help you shuffle your deck, so it can get any triggers you stuck at the bottom off our first skill mixed back in there. And then, of course, again, she is also a glitter. So that is our ride deck. Moving on to the main deck, we of course have our 3 additional copies of Fountain of Knowledge Eva for Persona Ride purposes. And then for our grade 3s, we are running 4 copies of Knight of Blackness Obscudeid. So this is our rearguard glitter, very important card in the deck. He has also Dual Nation, being of course Keter Sanctuary and Brandt Gate. So his auto ability, when he's on rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if your order zone has a set order, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of that battle. And if it has 3 or more set orders, this unit gets power plus 10,000 and set up plus 5,000. So if everything goes well, you're pretty much always going to have your 3 set orders set up on turn 3 when you can get him into play. So he's pretty much always going to be getting the extra 10,000 power. Then he also has his Glitter ability, which is active if your Vanguard is a Glitter with Eva in his card name, which will always be the case. So, auto ability, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle by a card's ability. If your order zone has 3 or more research cards, this unit gets critical +1 until end of turn. So, again, you are always going to have those 3 research cards, or you should anyway. So, if you superior call him off of Eva's second skill, then he will be guaranteed to have his 2 critical and his extra 10,000 power. Then, additionally, he also has a continuous ability while he's on rearguard circle or guardian circle that says this unit gets intercept and shield plus 10,000. So he becomes a 10k shield that you can use from your hand or from your rearguard circle by intercepting. So not only is he a very powerful offensive card, he can be a defensive card as well. So this is definitely the most important rearguard in the deck. So that's all of our grade 3s. Moving on to the grade 2s, so we are running 4 copies of Combine Rusher. So his auto ability says when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if your order zone has 2 or more set orders, this unit gets power plus 10,000 until end of that battle. So again, just another power up beatdown skill. Then he has a second auto ability when he's in your drop zone that says when the set order you played from your hand is put into your order zone, you can counterblast 1 and call this card to rearguard circle. So he can revive himself from the drop zone anytime you play a set order from your hand, which you want to be playing your research orders every turn if you have them. So it's a good way to revive a unit from your drop and fill in your field. A good combo I like using with this card is to attack with him and then superior call Obscudeid over top of him off of Eva's skill. And then during your opponent's turn, if you intercept with Obscudeid or whatever, then on your next turn that rearguard circle will be open. And then when you play your research card, you can just revive this guy and repeat the entire process again. So it helps make your attacks very consistent. So next, our only other grade 2s is our first research order, which is Experiment Successful, which we are running 4 copies of. So it has no cost to play this card, and it does have an auto ability that says when this card is put into the order zone, you can draw a card and choose a card from your hand and discard it. Then if your order zone has 3 or more research cards, you can Soul Blast 1 to choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it. So this card is really just a hand filter. You draw 1 and drop 1. If you have your 3 research orders set up when you play this, which most of the time this is the 3rd order that I play, so it does give you a bit of a control option, letting you bind one of your opponent's rear guards for the cost of 1 soul. So it can be very helpful. So that's all the grade 2s. Moving on to the grade 1s. First, we are running 3 copies of Detonation Monster Bubble Mine. So his auto ability says at the end of the battle this unit boosted. If your order zone has a set order, you can put this unit into your soul and countercharge 1. So this is a -1, but it gives you 2 resources, an extra soul and an extra counterblast, which the counterblast can get kind of steep on this deck. Eva uses 2 for each of her skills, and then Combine Rusher as well costs a counterblast. So the countercharge is very helpful, the soul as well, but especially the countercharge. So yeah, this card is just here to help with your resources. So next we are running 2 copies of Obliging Monster Secondel. So his auto ability, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, choose up to 1 non-trigger unit from your drop and put it on the bottom of your deck. And if you put a grade 3 or greater card, you can Soul Blast 3 and draw a card. So the draw I don't actually use that often. Soul Blast 3 is kind of a steep cost for this deck. You usually are dedicating your soul to other things. It's there if you have the extra soul to use it. But the primary purpose of this card is basically just to get Obscudeids out of your drop zone back into your deck in order to superior call them off of Eva's skill again. So it's mainly just there to recycle your Obscudeids if you end up running out of them in your deck. So next we are running 2 copies of Successor of the Variable Star. So her continuous ability says during your turn, this unit gets power plus 2000 for each of your set orders in your order zone. So she is a 7k base, but again, at most times you're going to have a minimum of 3 research cards in your order zone, so they give her an extra 6k. So the majority of the time she's going to be at a minimum of a 13k base. So she can be a booster, she can be an attacker, you can just slot her in where you need her, and if you do manage to stack your order zone with more orders, she gets more and more powerful. So she can just be a helpful offense card. So next to our grade 1s, we do have our Sentinels, which is 3 copies of Planet Wall Dragon. Just our standard perfect guard. And then our 4th Sentinel is of course the 1 copy of our Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude, which you can play without paying the cost if your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive. And then our last grade 1 is our other research card, which is 4 copies of Result of the Experiment Henceforth. So again, no cost to play it, you just have to have a Vanguard that's a glitter with Eva in its card name. And then it has a continuous ability while it's in your order zone that says all of your rear guards with Obscudeid in their card names cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects. So protection ability, keeping your Obscudeids from getting retired. It doesn't save them from anything else, so they can still get bottom decked or bound or what have you, but at least protecting you from retiring skills. Then it also has an activate ability while it's in your order zone that says if your order zone has 4 or more research cards, you can put this card into your soul to countercharge 1 and choose a card with Obscudeid in its card name from your drop and put it into your hand. So this is another way to recycle your Obscudeids. It puts it into your hand instead of your deck, so you can normal call it if you need to, or you can superior call it, of course, off of Eva's skill. Again, it also gives you resources, both 1 soul and 1 counterblast. So this can be an alternative to Mobile Mine as far as resources go. It does take away one of your research orders, so you gotta be careful about that. It also does require you to have 4 or more in your order zone to even activate it, so a bit more situational, but it is another useful resource card. So that's all of the grade 1s. Moving on to the grade 0s, we just have our trigger lineup, once we are running rainbow triggers in this deck. So we have 4 crit, 4 front, 3 draw, 4 heal, and 1 over. So for our crit triggers, we're running 4 copies of Cardinal Draco Barbazonde. It's just the vanilla crits. If you want to run the effect one, you can, but it's not really necessary. So next for our fronts, we have 4 copies of Cardinal Draco and Pyro. So it is the one with a skill. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, get shield plus 5,000. So 20k shield, definitely the front you want to run. Next for the draws, we do have 3 copies of Ameliorate Connector, which again is the one with the continuous ability. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, shield plus 5,000. So you're a 10k shield, draw trigger, again, the one you want for the extra shield power. And then for our heals, we have 4 copies of Cardinal Prima Nobilem, which is just the vanilla heal. As always, if you want to run the effect ones, you can. And then lastly, our 1 over trigger is Star Dragon Deity of Infinitude, Eldo Breath. So this guy's additional effect says double the power and critical of all of your front row units until end of turn. So this over trigger is insane. It's probably the most broken over trigger in the game. Doubling both the power and crit of your entire front row can absolutely end games immediately if your opponent is not prepared for that. Especially with Obscudeid, he's going to be at a 2k base, or a 2 crit base anyway. If you superior called him off of Eva. So if you check this, then that's going to double that to 4, plus an insane amount of power. So him being able to hit for 4 crit is going to be crazy. All your other stuff is going to be at a minimum of 2 crits as well, potentially more if you pulled a crit trigger before this. So just a ridiculously powerful card. So anyway, that is the deck, so we will go ahead and have one fight with it. And we'll play against Haruka, I suppose. Alright, so we'll be going second. Put that over trigger back.
Stand up! Vanguard! Stand and draw. Ride. Skill発動.
Whoa. And she immediately gets to add 4 cards to her hand.
Set order. Skill 発動. Turn end. 俺のターン。ドロー.
Alright, so we'll drop that Combine Rusher to ride Nappy by Eva. Then use our starter skill to draw. And use Eva's skill to search out our grade 1 research order. Which we will go ahead and play. And then I'll just go ahead and attack.
Vanguard にアタック。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。ダメージチェックね。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。ライド。セットオーダー。コール。ヴァンガードにアタック。
And we will let that through. Oh, and she immediately pulls a crit trigger. We get a heal trigger. We don't get the heal because there's nothing to heal, but we get the power. Oh, we get a second heal. Alright, well we get that one. And that's also enough to stop our rear guard from hitting us. Alright. So now we'll discard... we'll discard that order. To ride Smooth Booba Eva. Smooth Research Progress Eva. Excuse me, I'm a little distracted. So use her ability to add the grade 2 research to her hand. And then we'll go ahead and play another copy of the grade 1. And we could revive him right now, but he'll get retired next turn, so we'll just wait on that. And we'll go ahead and attack. She gets a draw trigger. And she's definitely got her meteorites set up, so she's probably gonna go full blast at our face right now. Yeah, so that was 5 meteorites. So she's gonna get power and a crit, and all our trigger effects activate twice. I do not have a perfect guard right now. As long as she doesn't get a crit trigger, I'd be okay. But usually when I say that, she gets a crit trigger. Sometimes 2. But you know what? I'm gonna take the risk anyway and let that through. Alright, no triggers at all. Great.
ネイルトリンガーでアタック
So that'll just put us to 3 damage, so that'll be fine.
ダメージチェックダメージチェックフロントトリガー
We get a front trigger,
パワープラス
which shuts down our rear guards as well, so even
ワンエ
better.
ンド
スタンドドロー
Alright, that worked out pretty great actually. So we will drop a draw trigger
さあ乗ってきたぜライ
to
ド
ride Fountain of Knowledge Eva. And then from our hand, we'll play our grade 2
セットオーダー
research order
スキル発動
and use its ability. And we will discard. We'll drop one of those bubble mines. Then we can Soul Blast. And we can bind one of our rear guards. Let's see. Get rid of our intercept. Now we can use Combine Rusher's ability to revive him from our drop.
スペリオルコール
And then we can go ahead and use Eva's Activate skill
スキル発動
to look at the top 3 from our deck. And we'll add that order to our hand. Those two go to the bottom, but they won't be staying there, so it's fine. So let's see, we'll go ahead and call Successor of the Variable Star. And then we'll call Bubble Mine.
コール
And I think we are good, so we'll go ahead and attack with, let's see, we'll attack with Successor first, I guess. And we're actually not going to boost yet.
ヴァンガードにアタック
ノーガードダメージチェックねヒールトリガー
And she gets a heal trigger, which she doesn't get, but she gets the power. So now we'll attack with
ヴァンガード
Eva
にアタック
and use her ability to Counter Blast and Soul
これで
Blast.
俺の勝利スキル発動
And then Superior Call Obscudeid
スペリオルコール
from our deck, which will activate his Glitter ability
発動
to give him an extra crit.
クリティカルプラス
ノーガード
ドライブチェックドライブチェック
And we still have no perfect cards, so that might not be good next turn. So then we can attack our rear guard with Rusher.
スキル発動
He'll gain 10k.
パワープラス
ノーガード
So then we'll attack with Obscudeid, who will also gain 10,000 power
発動パワープラス
for 31,002 crit. And she guards.
ガードするわ
So now we'll go ahead and use Bubble Mine skill
スキル発動
to shove him into the soul and counter charge.
ターンエンド
スタンドドローセットオーダーコールスキルを発動するわスキルを発動するわコールスキルを発動するわスキルを発動するわヴァンガードにアタックネルトリンガーのスキル発動
And now she's probably about to go full blast again.
パワープラスクリティカルプレススキルを発動するわ
And she's gonna get to retire my Rusher with her Meteorite, but she can't retire Obscudeid since our set order
スキルを
protects
発
him.
動するわバインド
Let's see, let's see. If I guard with those, that'll be 30, 43. But one trigger would be 48, so I'd have to drop some more with it. Okay, let's see. We'll guard with him and then intercept. So that'll be 53,000, so that'll be 2 to pass. Maybe we'll be safe. Alright, no triggers again. Nice. We might have got lucky on that one, folks. But we will let that one through. There's the perfect guard. And we'll have to let that one through too. Alright. So now we can persona ride. And then we can go ahead and play our grade 1 research, which will let us revive Combine Rusher once again. So then we'll go ahead and use Eva's ability to counterblast, and now we can check the top 4. And we will add our perfect guard to our hand. So let's see here. You know what? I think we will go ahead and use our grade 1 research orders ability to put it into our soul. And then we can countercharge and add Obscudeid back from our drop to our hand. So then we can go ahead and call him. And then we'll also call Global Mine. And then we'll go ahead and attack. So we'll attack with Combine Rusher first. And he will gain 10k from his ability. She gets a crit trigger. Alright, so I'll use Global Mine's ability. Put him to soul. And countercharge it again. So then we'll attack with Eva. Use her skill to counter blast and soul blast. And superior call Obscudeid over top of Rusher, which will once again activate his glitter ability, giving him +1 critical. And she guards for 2 to pass. Oh, but we pulled our over trigger. Oh, man. Well, we definitely got her then. So that's going to double that, so that's going to go through anyway. So I'm actually going to give that power to Obscudeid. And then we get a draw trigger on top of it. Alright. So we'll give that to our other Obscudeid. And we got her with that. Alright. So, like I said, that over trigger is very, very ridiculous. But anyway, that was our Eva deck. So I'll be back soon with more deck profiles. Up next we got actually 2 different variations of Magnolia I'm going to be doing. So until then, I guess that's all for this video. So lots of luck to you and yours.